Hello everyone, my name is Miss Linda. I'm a special needs educator. I'm a child neuropsychology and also a speech and language pathology. So I work with children, both atypical and typical children. Atypical children are children who are differently abled, or children who have special needs. And then typical children are the ones we refer as regular children. Those are the kids that I work with. So in this video, I would want to take you through a topic on fine motor skills. Fine motor skills. That's what I want us to talk about on this topic. So their children or other children use fine motor skills to do many activities, both at home, both in school, and in everyday tasks. In everyday activities, they use their fine motors. They use their fine motors in school to do activities such as scribbling. When kids want to scribble, they will use their fine motors, like scribbling. Children will use also their fine motors when they want to color. When they want to color, I want to show you an activity that was done by a 8-year-old boy so that it's coloring. So also children use fine motor activities in writing. Also they use their fine motors in painting. Also at home, children use their fine motors. They use their fine motors in activities like brushing their teeth. They will need the fine motor. They also use their fine motor in other activities like combing hair. Combing their hair, they will need their fine motors. So when we talk about fine motors, we are talking about activities that are done with hands. Many people have different way of referring to fine motor, but I will say just fine motor. It is when we use, it's the ability to make movement using muscles in hand and in wrist. When you're able to make movement using your fingers, the fine motors, these are what you're calling the fine motors. Using your hand or your wrist, this is now what you call use of fine motor. But now as a specialist, I'm going to divide fine motor into different parts. And there are 5 parts that are involved in fine motor. So there are 5. But in this video, we are going to just look at one part of fine motor. Many people look at fine motor as general, but to meet children, especially children who are typical, these are atypical children, these are children who are differently abled, or children who have special needs. You find out that they have some issues with one area and they don't have issues in another area. You find a child who has issues in like 5, the 5 parts of 5 different parts of fine motors. And there are those children who have only 2, just 2 issues in fine motor skill. So when you are assessing a child and say that this child has issue with fine motor, you need to know specific. You have to be very specific which part of fine motor has issues. So we have 5 parts of fine motor that children struggle with, and especially right now that children at home, they're definitely going to regress when it comes to fine motors. So I'm going to look at one part of fine motor. In the next video, we'll look at the second, and the next one, and the next one until we get to the 5 fine motor part of the 5 parts of the fine motor skills. So the first one, it was what we call hand strength. Hand strength. This is a part of fine motor skill that children struggle with. Not all. And that's why I said, sometimes you hear people say, oh, my kids have issues with fine motor. Sometimes it's not the entire 5 parts of fine motor. That your child may just have a struggle with just hand strength. So when you talk of hand strength, we are talking about the force or the force that a child puts when grasping. For you to hold, this is a mark pen. For you to hold this mark pen well, there's a force that you put so that you are able to write. Because you just can't write when you don't have, you can't just write when you don't have that strength in your hand to grasp it. So the force that we put to hold a pencil, to hold a crayon, to hold a pen, to hold any writing material. That force that you put on it, it is what we call hand strength. So on this hand strength, how do we now develop? Which are the activities that we do to help us develop now or improve the hand strength? Which are those activities? I want to show you different activities that you can use to help your child develop or improve hand strength. If you're watching, you are at home and you have a child who have issues with fine motor. So, and the issue is just hand strength, you know, being able to grasp it. That is the issue that you say, my child has this issue, this specific issue. So I'm going to show you one activity that can help your child be able to improve their hand strength. So here I have, here with me, I have just a normal magazine. This is just a normal magazine. At home, you just have normal magazine. You see these magazines? These are just normal magazines. You can take these, cut them into small pieces. Let your child use both hands, not one hand, both hands to crumple it. So crumpling papers, it is one way of developing what we call hand strength. This is one way. Have you gotten that? Cutting magazines or papers and your child crumpling like this will help as they squeeze. They are developing the grip. As they squeeze the papers, either using both hands, they develop the grip strength. And as time goes, your child can just, instead of using both hands now, they can just use one to cripple the papers. That's one. The second one, it is pushing wall. You know, whereby your child pushes. The both hands hold the wall. You see, like this is a wall. They hold the wall like this, using the both hands, and then they push. They push the wall. Pushing the wall. That's also another activity of developing what you're calling what? Hand strength. Hand strength. The ability to be able, so that the child can be able to grasp it well. Another activity that I'm going to show you. Can you see here? What is this? These are sponge. These are sponge. So you put it in water, you dip it inside the water, and let your child squeezes. Can you see the water moving down? Yes, let your child squeeze the sponge. And you see these resources I'm giving you, they are very cheap. They are affordable. They are very affordable. Anywhere you can get this one. I think it's like 20 shillings or 15 bob or 30 shillings in any supermarket. So you can have this. And this helps a lot with helping to improve or to strengthen, to help on hand strengthening. Those are 3 activities. Things that are very affordable. You live somewhere in a house where you can push the wall. You live somewhere you can, this is very cheap to purchase. Have this to help your child develop hand strength. Those are 3 activities. I'm just going to now mention 2 activities and we move on. The next one is spray. You can start with these. Can you see these? These are spray. When your child presses these, they can use their both hands to press if they are struggling, depending on the severity of the hand strength of your child. If the hand strength ability of your child is quite severe, they can just start by using both hands to, using both hands to spray. Or they can just use one. From using both hands, you can now gradually go to using one hand. When they are done with this, you can now use the little ones. These little ones. These are things that they are around your home. I'm not telling you to go and buy things that are expensive to improve the fine motors of your child. No, we are using the resources that are there. And the resources that are there, they are very affordable. You can purchase them easily. Some are even, you can find them from even your neighbors. Yeah, you can. So these ones, they use their hands to press. And you see, they are going to hold their hand, and they are pressing. The hand is getting now the strength. The hand is getting the strength. As they press, the hand is getting a strength. The last one is what we call in crawling, to crawl. You can create a space in your house and help your child crawl. Do that together with your child. Those are 5 activities that can help you to improve and strength of your child. Get this very well. Not only children who are atypical or special needs children, also children are typical. They have struggles. They have struggles in writing, they have struggles in drawing, they have struggles in painting, they have struggles in shoelacing, they have struggles in buttoning. If your child has those struggles that comes with fine motor, I've given you activity to strengthen their hands if it's the hands that have issues. For the next video, we are going to talk another different part of fine motor, which we call in-hand manipulation skills. That's what we'll talk next time. For today, digest that. Comment down there. Tell me what you think about those 5 activities to improve the hand strength of your child. Also, you can hand feel if you feel there's something I've left out. Also, if you want me to expound on hand strength activities as part of fine motor skills, then I can also describe or talk more about that. We want to discuss more on fine motor skills. Fine motor, as a specialist, we don't generalize fine motor. We don't say like fine motor, the child has a fine motor. Me as a specialist, I have to know which part of the fine motor is affected, because fine motor is divided into different parts. And you meet children are very different. Either they are typical or they are typical. Either they have special needs or they are regular. They are completely different. And you find that not all those parts of fine motors have issues. You find a child who have fine motor issues, but people just generalize fine motor. But you don't have to generalize. If you're a specialist watching this, go in a way that you are able to know which part is the child struggling with. So when it comes to fine motor, you find a child is struggling with 3 issues with fine motor. You find a child struggling with just 2 parts of the fine motor. You find a child struggling with 4 parts of fine motors. So children have fine motor struggles, but different parts of fine motor. And I'm telling you this as a specialist. When your child has struggles with fine motor, they even have struggles with small things like feeding. They have struggles with small things like shoelacing. They have struggles with small things like buttoning. They have struggles with small things like even bathing, with even washing utensils or clothes. You know, that's why for me fine motor skills are it is one thing that I take it with a lot of weight, because I know not only the atypical children, even typical children have the struggles with the fine motor. So those are the activities that you can work with. I want also to mention different areas of the fine motor. The one different area is what we call hand strength. The next area we'll be looking at is in-hand manipulation activities. I also look at motor endurance activities. I also look at bilateral coordination and wrist movements. Those are 5 areas. And I said earlier, you find a child with only 2 struggles, not all. 3 struggles, not all. 1 struggle, not all. Just all. Those 5 areas. They are struggling with those 5 areas. So we are going to look each area of the fine motor and the activities that you can work with to enhance or to improve the fine motor. So the first one is hand strength. And hand strength, I will mention different activities. I'll mention crawling. I'll mention squeezing the sponge. I'll mention what we call spray bottles, crumpling papers, and also cutting papers using scissors.
when the child you get scissors and cut paper using scissors, the child will have to use the hand strength. Animal walks, the way the animal walks, you know, walking with hands, you know, those are activities that can improve hand strength. Another activity that can improve hand strength is what we call modeling. We are plasticine. And when you use the plasticine to model, your child, the both hand is involved. And when both hands are involved, when one hand is involved, there's the way they are getting the muscle strength or the hand strength. And when you work on hand strength, then it means one part of fine motor, it is solved. So for the next video, we are going to look at another area, what we call in-hand manipulation skills. How we are going to work on that. What are the activities that I, as a special needs educator, as a child neuropsychology, have used with the children that I work with, and how it has improved their fine motor skills. See you next video. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you.